round of applause for the Pequannock Golden Panther cheerleaders. And now the Morris Catholic Crusader cheerleaders. The Crusader cheerleaders.
Hey, don't you just love it when Morris District Sports broadcasts your game? Or do you prefer a silent, motion-detecting camera just following the movement on the court? Let's face it, the only real way to watch your favorite team is through Morris District Sports' award-winning service that brings you play-by-play commentary, live instant replays, cool cinematic graphics, real-time scoreboard, fun fan engagement, and much, much more. Plus, all of our broadcasts are free to watch. Grandparents can easily pull it up on their smart TVs, and alumni can watch from all over the world. So, if you want to reserve us, have your games broadcasted the Morris Essex Sports way, then just reach out to me, George Muha, at george@morrisessexsports.com, or call or text me at 973-713-5944.
At CCM, County College of Morris, athletics are on.
CCM baseball.
CCM volleyball.
CCM basketball. Oh yeah, it's on.
CCM's women's soccer. It's on.
9 athletics programs.
CCM softball. It's on.
CCM golf. It's on.
Esports? Oh yeah, it's on.
CCM, County College of Morris. Go Titans!
I've worked with many mortgage companies over the years, from the big banks where I thought I could get the best, most competitive rate, to the small guys where I thought I'd get more personalized service. And I never thought I could have it both, until I met Family First. Family First gave me the most competitive rates in the market with unmatched service. Their team is incredible. They were always at arm's reach, ready to answer my questions, help me weigh different loan options, and work through some of the most challenging closing situations and timelines. I have to say, without a doubt, Family First is the best in the business, and I strongly recommend them if you're looking to finance or refinance your home.
Have you ever needed a day to relax during these stressful times? Well, then look no further than Modern Acupuncture. Modern Acupuncture will ensure your time there will not only be relaxing, but make you feel rejuvenated. Not only will your stay be comfortable, but safe as well. All staff at Modern Acupuncture practice safe social distancing guidelines and keep all equipment and rooms sanitized after each visit. Modern Acupuncture, making lives better.
Rich Latman, realtor with Keeneland Latman, Sotheby's International Realty, enjoys helping clients through the process of selling their home and finding their dream home. Whether you need more space, are a first-time home buyer, or ready to downsize, Rich can help. Rich is a National Association of Realtors Circle of Excellence Award winner and one of the top producers in his area. With Rich, you can always expect expert analysis, excellent service, and exceptional results. For all real estate in Morris and Somerset counties, contact Rich Latman at 908-839-8487 or by email at rlatman@klsir.com.
Your future, it's on.
Goals are on.
Learning is on.
With CCM, the County College of Morris.
Online,
On point.
on your terms.
Over 80 majors.
Major help,
with career guidance.
#1 in alumni salaries in New Jersey.
success,
It's on.
With CCM, the County College of Morris.
Sign up now for summer and fall semesters.
Don't give up on your dreams of a college education. Get your goals back on track at Sussex County Community College. Fall registration is open now. Reserve your spot today. Apply online at sussex.edu/apply or call 973-300-2223.
Whether you are a trucker or a landscaper, accountant or carpenter, needing workers' compensation, general liability, or commercial auto insurance, Gladstone Coverage Group has you covered. Gladstone Coverage Group is a one-stop agency specializing in many types of insurance, including life, personal, business, and Medicare supplement insurance, as well as employee benefits, serving many communities throughout New Jersey. As an insurance partner protecting you and future generations, contact Tyler Brinson at 908-698-0477 or by email at tylerb@gladstonecoverage.com and tell him Morris Sussex Sports sent you.
Sports medicine is the care of athletes. College athletes, professional athletes, amateur athletes, and we see a lot of weekend warriors.
At the Sports Medicine Center, we're up to date on all the latest techniques, both surgical and non-surgical treatment options for treating all sorts of injuries.
It's important to make the diagnosis, make it quickly, and start the ball rolling with the treatment.
If you can get an MRI done the same day of your injury, a lot of times that's going to help get that treatment started in the right direction instead of waiting 2-3 weeks.
I think reassurance, making the diagnosis and coming up with a good plan for that particular athlete is a very good thing. It helps to get the folks back on track and limits how discouraged they can actually be from the injury.
Patient education is important. We want the patient to be part of the treatment plan, and having the patient have an understanding of what their injury is, what their treatment options are, that helps them to get back to the sport that they love.
We have doctors with all different specialties within sports medicine, state-of-the-art concussion care, regenerative medicine, and then of course we have our orthopedic surgeons. If something needs to be fixed, we can fix it, more than likely in a minimally invasive fashion.
With the arthroscopic and minimally invasive procedures, we're able to do much of this surgery inside the joint without having to damage any of the surrounding tissue. That allows an athlete to return to sports much quicker.
We're seeing excellent results with regenerative medicine. Ligament injuries that would normally have taken 6 to 8 weeks, now we're seeing 2 to 3 week recovery periods. It gives me great pleasure to be able to treat an athlete and see them succeed back on the field.
Hey guys, Pat Glory here. Just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about Pinnacle Athletic Development. If you haven't heard about it, it's run by Mike Kennedy. He's been doing this for 20 years, best in the business. Trained some of the best, New Jersey high school wrestling athletes.
What's up, guys? This is Charlie Cunningham out of Seton Hall Prep, New Jersey. I'm currently a Division III college wrestler, and I want to give a quick shout out to Pinnacle Athletic Development in Parsippany, New Jersey. I just think that training there in and out of the season, year-round, always kept me ready for any competition. The individualized training that Mike Kenny provides at Pinnacle really just, I don't think, can be matched anywhere else.
Hi, my name is Cameron Sanz. I've been training at Pinnacle for 2.5 years. I recently just won the New Jersey State Championship, and I would recommend Pinnacle to all the athletes out there.
Some things in this life are slow. We expect them to be. We know the little inchworm moves 1 inch at a time. We know babies crawl, and fashion models do this in the mud for some reason. But we also know not everything in life is meant to move at a snail's pace. At Planet Networks, our high-speed fiber is designed to be fast, like really fast. Up to 300 times faster than cable, and up to 500 times faster than DSL. As fast as 10,000 megabits per second up, and 10,000 megabits per second down, if you speak nerd. We're talking cheetah, bullet train, lightning strike, hummingbird, race car kind of fast. Forget that it's less expensive than the competition, which it is. Forget that it's more reliable, which it is. Some things in life are just meant to be fast, and the internet is one of them. If you're sick of the sad old tortoise you've been connected to all these years, poor fella, visit getplanetfiber.com and tell us all about it. That's getplanetfiber.com. Planet Networks. So
Top of Pequannock, 28-0. Eddie McCarthy, Brian Riley, and Brian, the question really becomes, well, it's the same one we asked at the start of the second quarter. As far as Pequannock is concerned, what do you do?
I don't know, because it's going to be a struggle. Obviously, they're going to have to pass. They're going to have to put the ball in the air. But at this point, you've got Edelman, who is a linebacker right at the line of scrimmage. He is strong, he is powerful, he is fast, and he is putting pressure on every single time, on Rigo. And it's not going to get any easier because as the game goes on, the defensive front for Morris Catholic is going to be in track stances, essentially.
And to make matters worse for the Panthers, Morris Catholic's decision of deferring is really paying off. They get the ball to start here in the third quarter. And for Dean DeNoble, who had about as dominant a first half as they come, with the exception of one pick, he was really good as the ball's going to come out to the 20 as Michael Cucci picks up his first touchback of the night.
And I think one of the things you'll see out of Morris Catholic here in the second half is you're going to start to see some of the reserves come on the field here, early on. I'd be surprised if you saw DeNoble in here for too much in this second half.
At the 25.
Luca Cardone is the backup quarterback. John Hack said to me in jest this week, we hope that we could put him in the fourth quarter for the right reasons. And this has been an offensive showcase here for Morris Catholic. 28-0 after the first half, but still a whole half of football left to play, 24 minutes. A lot can happen in 24 minutes, and Pequannock's hoping that something swings their way. Start out of the shotgun, Stephen Lardy is the motion man, gets it on the jet sweep. Some good blocking out in front of him, and Lardy is going to pick up 5. Zach Thomas, one of the receivers, providing a block.
Yeah, very good job by Pequannock's defense there. Because Lardy had some good momentum going there, and they were able to just keep working that ball down the line, and stop that after 5.
What a good night.
It was going to be more.
What a good night Stephen Lardy has had in 3 years with Bergen Catholic. He had 4 rushes for 13 yards and 1 reception for -3, and he's been one of the top targets here in this evening's game as Stanford Davis finally gets himself a carry. He's out to the Morris Catholic 40 and picks up a first down. And you look at these 3 running backs with Laho, with Yakaza, and with Davis, and it's all down to the offensive mastermind, the offensive coordinator in Kyle Cleffy, to kind of decide who gets the ball and when. As here's Davis again, he takes it for 8.
And you can't really lose. I mean, Davis is a slasher. He will run side to side. He's got good speed. He's powerful. Yakaza is obviously a big body at 5'9", 200. He's more of a power back. Third back has got speed, so they really have a lot of options.
Kyle Cleffy spun the wheel. It landed on Matt Laho. He's in the game at running back. DeNoble stepping up, stepping away, fires deep downfield, and the pass is off the hands of Nick Gonzalez. As he had gotten away from the man covering him, might have been 6.
Boy, that is unusual because we saw it last year. Gonzalez make some very good catches. He's got great hands. Just wasn't able to pull that one down, unfortunately.
Just so many playmakers on this offense, and I talked to Kyle Cleffy this week on Tuesday at their practice, and I asked him, how do you determine who's going to get the ball? And he said, I have to put blinders on. I call the best play. I know the ball's going to go to somebody good. And he said there are no egos. Everybody's unselfish on this football team.
I mean, Laho ran for 6 yards a carry last year, and he looks like he's their second or third option.
Here is Laho, nice hole. Matt Laho cuts it back towards the left side, inside the 40, and he is tripped up.
Down into Panther territory.
Pardon me, tripped up by Preston Fazekas for another first down.
Yeah, Fazekas and Brath getting out there, making nice tackles downfield.
Good to see Colin Brath back in the game after getting a little bit shaken up in that first half.
Pequannock 40.
Here is a keeper for DeNoble, a late throw. Pass is caught by Thomas, and Zach Thomas shifts to the outside, picks up a first down, and takes it to the Pequannock 28-yard line. A gain of 12, and the Crusaders are on the march again.
Yeah, and this is just a really good football team. It's just that simple. As we said, they have 3 backs who could probably all be 500-600-yard season, rushing backs if they were more prominently, displayed. They've got a great receiving core with good hands, and they've got a quarterback who's just cool under pressure.
Zach Thomas said, so excited to play one more season with Dean. He's my guy. He's a Division I quarterback. There aren't too many like him as Yakaza carries for 4.
Ball carried by Max Yakaza.
I mean, there's another guy who's just a beast. Max Yakaza, only a junior, 5'9", 195. But you look at him, this is a guy who can bench press 325 pounds and squat 500.
That is a very strong young man for those of you who don't know weights.
So if you ever need somebody to pick up your car, here's DeNoble stepping up. He will take off. Got a hand up high, slips inside the 20, and picks up a first down.
So that play, DeNoble should have lost 10, then he should have lost 4, and then he should have been tackled at the line of scrimmage, and instead he made a 10-yard gain.
Looked like the hand up high grabbed his jersey and not his face mask.
A couple of times he got grabbed, but, you know, he is just a good athlete with good football instincts.
Stanford Davis, the running back, single coverage bottom of your screen for Nick Gonzalez. Colin Brath on him. DeNoble looks that way for Gonzalez, and it's off his hands. Good coverage by Colin Brath, who we mentioned was injured and shaken up in that first half, fighting through the pain, and he made a good play there.
Yeah, and it was very, very well covered by Pequannock. You know, and most high school quarterbacks wouldn't even choose to make that pass. But again, DeNoble, you know, he knows what he's got. He laid it right in there. It was just a very, very good break up there last second by the Pequannock defensive back.
So second down and 10 from the Pequannock 17.
That's Rivera on him. Good play by Rivera the last time.
Here's DeNoble out to his left. Pass is caught inside the 10 is Zach Thomas. Shifts back towards the middle, and he will be dropped by 3 white jerseys. Dennis Jerensky among them at the 8-yard line, and another Morris Catholic first down. First and goal coming up.
To about the 8, just shy of a first down for Morris Catholic. It'll be third and about a yard.
I'm sorry, pardon me. It looked like Thomas actually went backwards. Good,
he did.
Good call, Brian. I thought they picked up the first down. Instead, it'll be 3rd down and 1.
He did have it, Eddie. He stepped back to try to get a little more yardage, and Pequannock was able to bring him down.
He got a little greedy.
He did. Yes, he did. 2-man backfield here, which is unusual.
Chances are it'll go to one of them. It goes to Davis, and Stanford Davis picks up the first down. A lot of lateral running, and he's down inside the 5 and down at the 2.
And that's what Davis does. Davis is a lateral runner who cuts in both directions with equal speed and quickness. And, you know, that should have been a 2-yard loss, and instead he turned it into a first down.
Stanford Davis has not had a touchdown yet. His other 2 friends in the backfield have. We'll see if this is his series. But it's going to be hard to be his series if he has to come out of the game, which it looks like he has. Laho and Yakaza are the backs. First and goal from the 2 for the Crusaders. They come with a blitz, they throw the fade, and the pass is fought for in the end zone, and they rule it a touchdown. Nick Gonzalez, who dropped a pass earlier on the drive, redeems himself. And this is turning into a slaughter.
Yeah, a gritty play by Nick Gonzalez, because that ball was really a jump ball. Defensive back had his arms around it as well, and Nick Gonzalez just would not yield.
So here is Andrew Anastasi, who comes on for the PAT, and for Gonzalez, that has to feel good again with what happened earlier on this drive. Anastasi has another one blocked. Missed one on this side of the field earlier in the game, right after Morris Catholic scored their first touchdown, but still a 34-0 lead for the Crusaders. The points just keep on piling up. Take a quick break, back after this.
The way. Oh.
34-0 Morris Catholic back here at Sullivan Field in Denville, and this offense just keeps on rolling. And Brian, you brought up a good point. So easy to look at the 3 running backs and Dean DeNoble and the elusive wide receivers, but you have to take a look at the offensive line and the job that they've done.
Yeah, I mean, as a former lineman, you know, I'd like to focus on them, but these skill players with Morris Catholic are so terrific. that I'm afraid the focus has been on that. But, you got Dravian, Edelman, you've got Skirmahorn on the offensive line. Who else do we have here? Will Hoffman, big tackle, 6'2", 235. Alex Sheffley is a right guard, and he's been blocking terrific. He's 6 foot 285. These are big kids. And who was the last one there?
And just so nice for them to finally have Jake Lukasco back, a guy who was a day one starter for them last year. As this is a pretty good return by Delitzia, wrapped up by Thomas at his own 42-yard line. But Jake Lukasco, who was a day one starter for Morris Catholic last year as a freshman, unfortunately dislocated his knee during the 2020 year. Coach Hack said he worked so hard to come back, and he's played a really good game tonight at center. He was the first guy on the field on both teams. He was here at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, practicing his shotgun snaps in the end zone, making sure that he hit the goalpost every time.
Yeah, Lukasco, terrific player, and he starts both sides of the field, so he's out there most of the game, and a big kid, again, 6 foot 285, and for him to be going both ways and not taking any break is really impressive and a testament to his training.
It is senior night here for Morris Catholic, and John Hack is going to want his seniors to be serenaded. Here's Rigoglioso just airing it out down the field. He's picked. He's picked off by Dante Galella, and what a night the senior is having. More of a depth guy last year, especially on the offensive end, and he's made a couple of big plays on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. This is not, it's the first pickoff for Galella, but Galella has broken up 2 or 3 passes this evening, and he has been a real steady force in their secondary.
Did have 1 interception last year, and you watch Morris Catholic in practice, you talk to John Hack, and Dante Galella just seems like he seems like he's a coach's dream. They say he's the most coachable kid on their team. He does everything they tell him. Wherever they put him, they know he's going to do the job, and he's going to do the job right. So DeNoble back to work, give it to Yakaza, and there goes Yakaza. And there is that 500 pounds on the squat as he powered over a defender, and he's out to close to the 45-yard line for a first down.
Boy, he gets some open field, and he is tough to bring down. For a kid his size, he has terrific speed. And once he got through the line of scrimmage, he highlighted that speed. Good run by Yakaza, I'm sorry.
How would you feel about trying to tackle him in the open field?
I would not want to tackle that kid. He is big and fast, and obviously, as you said, very strong.
Defensive guys probably feel like they're waking up from a car crash the next morning.
I would bet.
Morris Catholic taking a little bit more time now. They're letting the clock run instead of their standard hurry-up scheme. Got it away with 1 on the play clock. Back to Yakaza, and look at that hole. Max Yakaza, welcome to Morris Catholic. Touchdown. His second of the night, and Nick Gonzalez is the first guy to greet him in the end zone. What a night he's having.
And again, we talked about the offensive line just a minute or 2 ago. That hole was about 4 feet wide, and Yakaza hit it fast. It's a testament to Yakaza, hit it fast, and he was upfield in a New York minute, as they say.
And we've been talking all night about the size versus speed matchup, the much larger offensive line for Morris Catholic, maybe a little bit more of an athletic line, but definitely smaller for Pequannock. Pretty clear who's winning the battle, especially on that one. Here's a botched snap. DeNoble, the holder, try to make something happen, and he fires high, and the pass is incomplete. Looked like DeNoble just could not get the football on the tee, tried to make something happen, and just could not connect on the pass. But 40-0, they just keep scoring every time they have the football. 5:24 third quarter, we'll step away.
Hey, don't you just love it when Morris Sussex Sports broadcasts your game? Or do you prefer a silent, motion-detecting camera just following the movement on the court? Let's face it, the only real way to watch your favorite team is through Morris Sussex Sports' award-winning service that brings you play-by-play commentary, live instant replays, cool cinematic graphics, real-time scoreboard, fun fan engagement, and much, much more. Plus, all of our broadcasts are free to watch.
Thanks to the Morris Catholic Booster Club and their athletic director, Bill Schilling, for having us here at Sullivan Field tonight. Here at Morris Sussex Sports, we're so proud to have formed a special relationship with them. The Morris Catholic Booster Club does great work for Crusader Athletics, and send us your selfies. We want to know where you're watching the game. Tweet a photo of you and your friends to @MoreSusSports or hashtag Morris Sussex Sports, and make sure we can see the screen so we know what game you're watching. Busy night for Stanford Davis on the kickoff tee. This one returned by Delizia, and he's out to his own 40-yard line. So pretty good starting field position for David Rigoglioso and the Pequannock offense.
Again, this is going to be challenging. I've played in games like these on both sides of the ball. And again, you know, as I said, referred to the track stance, meaning defensive line knows Pequannock is going to have to pass, and they are not even looking for the run. They are totally geared up for the pass, and it makes it really, really challenging, you know, on Pequannock's offensive line here.
Vasinovic on the return, by the way. For Morris Catholic, you're seeing quite a few starters looking like they're about to come out of the game. Two of the backup quarterbacks are warming up on the sideline. Dean DeNoble has taken his helmet off. It looks like he may be done for the night.
Smart move.
Only week one. They got a long season ahead of them. Here's Andrew Davis on the carry for Pequannock, and he picks up a gain of 7. A guy who they were really hoping to get going tonight in that run game. Davis is just not as big a factor in the passing game. And when the running attack is not working, they really don't use him as much.
I mean, even when the game was closer, it just felt like Pequannock was playing catch-up all night. And, you know, it's tough to establish a running game in that type of catch-up environment mode that they've been playing in. Literally, you know, after the first set of downs, it seemed like they were in catch-up for the rest of the evening.
Now, so many points in the game that you can point to, a couple of drop passes here and there, but I think at the end of the day, you might just be looking at the fact that Morris Catholic's the better team. Here's one aired out for Delizia, and that falls incomplete.
Pass incomplete. Intended for Matt Letizia.
You know, that there are some bright spots that you could point to. The Rigoglioso-Delizia connection has been there. He's had a pretty good night. Colin Brath had a couple of nice catches in the first quarter on that opening drive.
They brought James Bonner in there, and you know, he's doing a nice job for him as well. He is just a sophomore. He's starting. He's not a big kid, 5'8", 175, but you know, he'll have 2 more years to put a little bit of weight on, and he's done a nice job out there on the offensive line.
We are under mercy rule conditions with the score being 40-0, so it's going to be a running clock the rest of the way as Davis carries into Crusader territory and picks up a Panther first down.
You know, I hate to put the jinx on Morris Catholic, but they are going to be tough to beat for the rest of this year. You know, the offensive skill set is off the charts, but really it's been so good we really haven't focused much on their defense, and their defense is powerful, it is disciplined, and they have some really, really good athletes on that side of the ball.
Well, the knock on the Crusaders over the past couple of years when John Hack's really turned this program around, but the knock on them has been that they don't play anybody. Their schedule isn't tough enough. Well, they've changed conferences this year. They're gonna play some powerhouses on that schedule. We'll get to that in a second. As some good running on this drive here for Andrew Davis. He's to the 40 and a pickup of 8. But they changed conferences, did Morris Catholic, and now stuck in the National White Division, and they'll have Verona on their schedule. They'll have Hanover Park, who had a huge year last year. Verona and Parsippany, much bigger schools than in years past. So they've got some very tough games ahead of them.
I'm familiar with Hanover Park. My son played high school ball back about 8 or so years ago. Had a couple of games against them. That is a very good football program. They are a high-scoring team. That should be a really fun game.
You get those two offenses. Get those two offenses together. You may run out of bulbs on the scoreboard. Here's a wide-open man downfield, Michael Malillo, and Malillo is inside the 15, and the senior tight end makes his first catch of the night, and is a little bit shaken up.
Down down to the 14 of Morris Catholic.
Ryan Osterhout rocked him, and Melillo will get up to his feet and jog back to the sideline.
Yeah, looked like a thigh. Looked like he hit him right, and the thigh was a good hit, shoulder pad clean, but he gone to the ground there on the sideline, so he's hurting a little bit.
Seems to happen to tight ends a lot. They're so big. That's really the only place you can knock him down. Rob Gronkowski, the amount of times that he was going through thigh bruises and everything.
Yes.
All the big tight ends in the NFL. Handoff here to the up back and pushing forward. I think that's James Bonner, but kind of a jumbled up formation, so hard to tell. Down to the 10, gain of 5.
Tackled by a host of Crusaders.
Yeah.
So this is the type of game where you really start to see what you have.
Yeah, and again, Pequannock's a young team. I mean, they've got, as I look down the roster here, they've got a fair amount of sophomores. They have a freshman, actually, as a starting offensive lineman, Jason Griskin. Jason Griskin. He's a freshman. He's 6'1", 250.
We will pick up a Pequannock 2nd down and 5 when we return. End of 3 quarters here in Denville. Crusaders up 40-0. 4th quarter coming up right after this from your Morris Sussex Sports sponsors.
Smart TVs and alumni can watch from all over the world. So if you want to reserve us, have your games broadcasted the Morris Sussex Sports way, then just reach out to me, George Muha, at george@morrissussexsports.com, or call or text me at 973-713-5944.
At CCM, County College of Morris, athletics are on.
CCM baseball.
CCM volleyball.
CCM basketball. Oh yeah, it's on.
CCM's women's soccer. It's on.
9 athletics programs.
CCM softball. It's on.
CCM golf. It's on.
Esports? Oh yeah, it's on.
CCM, County College of Morris. Go Titans!
I've worked with many mortgage companies over the years. From the big banks where I thought I could get the best, most competitive rate, to the small guys where I thought I'd get more personalized service. And I never thought I could have it both, until I met Family First. Family First gave me the most competitive rates in the market.
4th quarter starts here in Denville at Sullivan Field. 40-0 Morris Catholic over Pequannock. Eddie McCarthy with Brian Riley. 2nd down and 4 for the Panther offense. Keeper for Rigoglioso over the left side, inside the 5 and in for the touchdown. And the shutout is broken by the senior 6'6", 210 David Rigoglioso. And something to feel good about if you're Pequannock.
Absolutely. That was a great fake handoff by Riggs, and he just did a straight beeline, on an angle there towards the left hash mark and went in for the touchdown.
So Pequannock gets a touchdown off a couple of the, or not a couple, more like a lot of Morris Catholic's 2nd-string players, as we've talked about a couple of times. They did pull their starters. Although as we take a look at the sideline, it looks like guys are getting their helmets back on, so you wonder if that score means more first-teamers are going to come back for the ensuing possession as Cucci knocks through the extra point, and it's 40-7. Take a quick break. Pequannock finally gets on the board, still down by 33.
Their team is incredible. They were always at arm's reach, ready to answer my questions, help me weigh different loan options, and work through some of the most challenging closing.
Well, Morris Catholic picked up some new jerseys this year. The surprise was gifted to them yesterday before the game. Here's what it looked like when they got their uniforms. Pretty sweet new jerseys for the Crusaders, and they've been christened well, Brian.
Absolutely. And again, It's been a long time since I had a uniform on, but I do remember the years that we got new ones, and it's always exciting. And these are sharp-looking jerseys. It's like the Navy, you know, the
Didn't you say you traded at a desk for 20 years? You wear business attire.
Yeah, I did.
There's your uniform.
Exactly.
Kick grab by the up man, Stephen Lardy, and he's got some room. Down the sideline is Stephen Lardy, and he somersaults to midfield. And the transfer from Bergen Catholic is having a heck of a night. Everybody's having a heck of a night.
Yeah, Lardy's 5'7", 160. So his speed, his quickness, his moves are no surprise. But as he started to get down and Pequannock people came around him, he lowered his head and drove for another 5 yards. So he is not only quick and fast, he is a tough kid. A real nice run there.
So new quarterback is Luca Cardone, and it's just as John Hack predicted. He was hoping he could get his backup in for the fourth quarter for the right reasons. Yeah. I think 40-7 qualifies.
Smart move. You don't want DeNoble getting hurt in a game like this.
Cardone, the sophomore, 5'8", 150, a little bit shorter than their normal running back. Couple of flags fly on this one.
Face mask, Eddie.
As a carry there by Sean Gruel, and you're right.
Flag on the play.
It's like two different officials spotted the face mask.
As Luca Cardone is taken over for quarterback for the Crusaders.
So mainly second teamers in the game now. The offensive line, which is the interesting thing, the offensive line stays in the game and stays normal, with the exception of Kyle Skirmahorn. He's come out from his spot at the left tackle. Timmy Liebhauser comes in, but everybody else, the rest of those four guys, they're all staying in the game.
Yeah, maybe because Skirmahorn's the only senior. Not sure.
Cardone calling signals now.
Will Hoffman should also be mentioned for the job that he's done at the right tackle position tonight. Another transfer from Montclair Kimberly Academy, a guy who was arguably MKA's best player last year. Here's a nice handoff running right for Gruel, and Sean Gruel inside the 15 and down to the 12. Picks up another first down.
It's so funny you just talked about Hoffman, because that play was right off of his inside shoulder. He pushed his man to the outside. He kept him. He followed him out and opened a real big hole for the back.
At the 11.
Sean Gruel, the sophomore, is now going to get the bulk of the carries for Morris Catholic. Good year on defense last year. Changed his number from 35 to 14. Guy hoping he can maybe crack the depth chart at a position that the Crusaders are pretty deep at. He's gang tackled there by three white jerseys, with Adam Abdel Halim among them.
Chris Worley, David Colino, and James Bonner.
I mean, just such a tough game for Pequannock to play.
Second and 11.
It really is. Again, Morris Catholic just picked up where it left off last year. And they have a powerful team. They have all the offensive tools. A lot of their offensive players obviously playing on defense. So they have a very skilled group out there on the defensive side. And, Edelman is just a monster at the middle linebacker spot.
I mean, it just seems like such a blow to the gut as Gruel carries again over the left side, inside the 10, inside the 5, and twisted down at around the 2-yard line. As far as Pequannock is concerned, they took a look at their personnel and decided to change their defense for the first time in about a decade. They went from a 3-4 setup to a 4-2-5, thinking it would more benefit the guys that they had, be better for the personnel that they fielded.
And again, it may against a lesser team, but this team is just too powerful.
Good football team here at Morris Catholic. Here's a keeper for Cardone. And he's going to go down for quite the loss, and Pequannock is going to be charged with quite the penalty.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what. That looked like a good, unless it was a horse collar, but that looked like a good tackle around the shoulders.
Looks like it is a horse collar. It's on Nick Arna. As essentially this fourth quarter is as the clock is now stopped because the game is inside 35 points. this fourth quarter, essentially for the backup players, for both teams, it turns into an extension of the preseason.
Yeah, at this point it does. You're absolutely right, Eddie. And we're not sure. I guess they picked that flag up. Doesn't look like anything. Wait a second.
And now,
going against Morris
Jim
Catholic.
Livingstone is telling us that the penalty is against Morris Catholic.
Okay.
We need to invest in microphones for all officials.
That couldn't have been any less clear.
It's imperative the broadcasters know exactly what's going on as Gruel is dropped for a loss.
Ooh, that was good football play.
Nick Arno again
that
in
was
on the
Arno,
tackle.
Yeah, that was a real nice football play by Arno.
Back to about the 21-yard line.
But one of the things again with Pequannock, maybe need to go back to the drawing board on the tackling. They need to wrap better, and if they got a big body like Ikaza coming through, you got to tackle that guy around the ankles. You do not want to meet him at the shoulders. It's not going to be a winning combination.
Guess one of the good things that you can pull out of this if you're Pequannock is this is a non-conference game. Their league schedule doesn't start until next week. They'll get Whippany Park on the road. Back to Gruel.
Gruel up the middle.
And wrapped up after about a gain of 3, maybe 4, maybe 6.
Okay.
We'll take over 1st and 10.
And also a turnover on downs. I apologize for that. I thought that after the personal foul they would.
Yeah, there was a lot of confusion on that, Eddie, because, again, it looked like they were calling a horse collar on Pequannock, and then it turns out they don't even know what they called against Morris Catholic, but it set them back 10 yards.
I think, Brian, what we could take away with that is maybe we could have done a better job explaining to our dedicated viewers the goings-on of that situation.
No, Eddie, we got it right. I'm not falling on that sword.
I'll tell you, it is good to be back.
It is, buddy.
It is good to be back in the football booth.
Fire quick, number 41.
With Brian Riley from Mass Mutual. Wherever you are in your career stage, everybody needs a financial plan. To view a game plan of your future, call Brian, 973-738-4282. And both the meeting and financial plan are complimentary to supporters of Morris Sussex Sports. Good run here from Pequannock. New running back is in the game for the Panthers. Get you that when we can.
And about 6-7 years from now, Eddie, when I see you in the booth at Giant Stadium, you'll be one of my newer clients.
That was Sergio Fraguada on the carry, who Joel Trost told us they expect for him to take over that power running back spot from Andrew Davis next year. Kid who runs hard is going to get a chance here. Also, a new quarterback in the game is Joe Sabbath. The backup comes in as Rigoglioso's night is done.
Fragata once again on the carry.
Getting everybody out of the game here, and just, if you're Morris Catholic, obviously you feel great. And if you're Pequannock, you punt on this one, and you start against Whippany Park next week.
You come back next week. And, remember, in the first quarter, I've struggled with Rigoglioso's last name, and I'm still struggling with it. He had some good passes. He's got some nice touch. He's very accurate. His receivers were getting open on basically 8-10 yard routes. And, that's something I think they're going to want to take with them for the next game and know that, as bad as the score looks, this was not a total disaster. They did show signs of offensive movement in the first quarter.
And I think teams who were scouting Morris Catholic and watching this game are thinking, oh boy, we're going to have to score some points if we want to beat this team.
Yeah, and it puts a lot of pressure on you, and I think that's what happened. Again, I mentioned, a few minutes ago about, it looked like Pequannock having to play catch-up ball even when they were only down by 7. But the concern is that Morris Catholic is a scoring machine, and there was a sense of urgency from the very early on for Pequannock.
Pretty cool down here on the near sideline. You've got 4 of tonight's biggest playmakers for Morris Catholic: Stanford Davis, Zach Thomas, Nick Gonzalez, and Dante Galello, all kneeling together and watching their second team guys get in the game. First down picked up here by Pequannock, and that'll move the chains with 3:45 on the clock. Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, it shows great leadership from those 4 young men you just mentioned. You know, they're on their knee, they're watching intently. You know, after the game, they'll maybe take them aside, tell them what they did well, tell them, you know, some suggestions on improvement. You know, and that's why this is such a good team, because they've got real leadership in several spots. You know, it's not just the Noble, it's several spots where they have great leadership.
And for John Hack, I mean, he has to love what he sees. And Brian, I feel like that if you were playing for him, if he was your coach, he's the type of guy you love to play for him. He's so energetic. He's got something for everybody at practice. Everybody gets talked to, freshman through senior. They all get something personal from Hack as Ferguata gets tripped up. Good tackle there from Sean Gruel.
I mean, in the first quarter, I believe it was, Thomas made a terrific catch, and he got hit pretty well. He was coming off the sideline. Coach Hack hit him almost as hard as Pequannock's defensive back. He was so excited by the play. So, yeah, he is absolutely a player's coach, and I could see why they love him.
I got the chance to say to exchange a couple of words with Walter Quick Sr. Of course, Walter Quick Jr. led the state in receiving last year, now playing at Monmouth. Got the chance to talk to his father. He said it was the best decision his son ever made to go to Morris Catholic his senior year. Walter went to Paramus Catholic for his first 3 seasons. Wishes he went to Morris Catholic for all 4. And his brother Fire Quick is a freshman. He's gotten a couple of snaps tonight as the starters start to cycle out of the game. When it came time to figure out where Fire was going to go to high school, there was only one choice, and it's John Hack's Morris Catholic Crusaders. And I asked him where they're from. He said he's from North Bergen. Commute is 45 minutes. They make it because of the program that John Hack has built here.
Yeah, and as you noted, you know, we talked pre-game, a lot of big school transfers came into Morris Catholic. You have kids from Paramus Catholic, Bergen Catholic, and you know, again, you go to those big programs and you may be an outstanding player, but they are so deep that you may not get the opportunity to play as much. And these kids are choosing to come to Morris Catholic and getting on the field and just doing a fabulous job for them.
Max Yakaza has gone through 3 teams. He transferred in from Ridgefield. Before that, he was at Paramus Catholic and then DePaul Catholic before that. He's only a junior.
Yeah, and you know, he has certainly found a home here.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can see that Coach Hack likes him. He's a power back, and he's a kid that holds on to the football.
Running clock as this play will take us under a minute to go. Bouncing off a hit was Ferguata. He's able to get back to close to the line of scrimmage, and finally R.J. Connolly is able to muscle him down.
Who is number 14? That was a heck of a...
Sean Gruel is having quite the game among the backup players, although he looks to be a little bit shaken up as
he came into the
jogs to the sideline.
like he was shot out of a rocket, and he hit the Pequannock back, but barely right after he got the handoff, and was responsible for that loss on that play.
So again, Pequannock, now you have to start looking ahead to next week and just trying to create as good a game plan as you can before you go play another road game next Friday night against Whippany Park. They don't play a home game until week 3. They'll play High Point for the first time on September 17th. First time they will be in front of their home fans. As for Morris Catholic, they get a nice non-conference win here, but they will have to get ready to go because they're going to be facing a tough Madison team next week. As Ferguata carries here, he's taken down by Dravian Edelman, and that is how this game draws to a close. 40-7 Morris Catholic as the Crusaders open 2021 with a bang. All week they called this game their Super Bowl. Had to avenge last year's loss. I'd say they avenged it.
Yeah, oh, no question. I mean, this was an absolute monster of a game for Morris Catholic. You know, unfortunately, Pequannock was just outmanned. You know, an offensive line that literally outweighed their defensive guys by 50 pounds a man. You know, just a tough game for Pequannock to come up against.
And Brian, is just sort of a final thought here on Pequannock. Obviously, it's a tough loss for this football team. They have to regroup now, but I feel like they have to keep in mind it's only week 1, and there's a ton of room for improvement there.
Absolutely. You know, do not panic. Again, you know, against, you know, a team not as powerful as Morris Catholic, you're going to see some good passing offense out of this Pequannock football team. And I would not be surprised. Again, I don't think they're going to win 7 games, but I'm not surprised to see them go 500. There's a good offensive football team that just went up against the juggernaut of a defense.
Jill Trost and Pequannock will reevaluate. John Hack and Morris Catholic will celebrate. Again, Pequannock next week will play Whippany Park on the road. Morris Catholic is in Madison. We'll have that game on Morris Sussex Sports. Brian and I will be there. For now, for our whole crew here at Morris Sussex Sports, executive producer George Muha, associate producer Caitlin Langan, our producer Henry Clarihue, our man on the camera Santiago Satella, and for my partner Brian Riley, this is Eddie McCarthy saying so long from Morris Catholic. Crusaders win it 40-7.